How's it going, welcome back to the Great Green North. Welcome back to another lawn tip video. Today we're going to be going over just how things are going in the lawn, what I'm seeing. I know it's been really hot this week, so I'm going to be giving you guys some tips on how to deal with heat and heat stress in the lawn, as well as a couple other things here. So without further ado, let's get into the video. For those of you who are new here, my name is Wade Murray. I'm a lawn care enthusiast. I've worked in the industry and I'm an extreme hobbyist, and today I'm going to be telling you everything you need to know about lawn care so your lawn can look as great as mine. So without further ado, if that sounds something that's good to you, hit that subscribe button, like and everything down below, and follow Great Green North Lawn Care. We got many great lawn tips videos coming up here soon. All right, so for starters, here is the back lawn. So I think I've had 4 or 5 mows on this so far, and not looking too bad for this time of year. As you can see, the texture is not bad here, very thick and lush. This is a mixture of fescue, Kentucky bluegrass, and a little bit of creeping red fescue in here. But there's a couple problems. Number one, and this is the thing I wanted to mainly talk about in this video, is heat stress. So for those of you who don't know, our spring this year was utterly terrible. We had about sitting around 0-1 degree temperatures till about 2 weeks ago, and then we flipped from that to 27, feels like 32 with 60% humidity, that whole crap. So what I'm seeing here already, even though it's only mid-May, is a lot of heat stress. So for the back lawn, other than some invading weeds, heat stress, everything like that, looking pretty good. As you can see, I pulled some dandelions today. Very happy with what's going on back here. Let's take a look at the side yard, which we know is the project section. All right, so this side yard has had numerous issues over the years. It gets full shade from the giant maple trees we have. It gets a lot of traffic because it is the main access into the backyard, and it also, we had the tree fall on our house and all that construction. So I put a first application of the GrowFordge products. If you don't know what GrowFordge is, they're a Canadian lawn care company. You can get a discount code in the link in the description to get that for yourself. I put the first application of the GrowFordge baseline on the side yard over here. So let's take a look at how that turned out. This is about a week later. So looking here, about a week later, let's first of all see if we have a definitive line here. So this is the line where the GrowFordge product started and ended. So definitely seeing a lot more growth on this side than on that side, and I'm also seeing a lot more darker color on this side than that side. I can definitely up here see a definitive line of where that product was applied. In here, secondly, this side yard has never been more healthy than it is now. I know it looks really clumpy and patchy on camera, and that's because it is, but at the same time, it's definitely the most consistent it was now. I can show a clip from a couple weeks before, and yes, things have greened up, but see how some of these areas that were really thin, and they're still thin-ish, but that application helped bring everything together more, getting everything back in here more healthy. I know I have a lot of POA in here, but this will hopefully be thickened up by mid this year if I keep hitting it with liquids. My plan for this area is to hit it with liquids for most of the season, keep it 100% liquid, maybe 2 granular applications. But I want to get this as thick as possible. I'm tired of having this area thin and gross. So what we're going to be doing is maybe a heavy fall seeding again this year. Should hopefully bring me to the next level. This year, this spot last year had nothing in it, and I planted Kentucky blue, and it looks quite a bit better, even though the bluegrass does take a long time to fill in. And I actually think there's a bit of rye in here too. But that's what I planted over here. But as you can see, the fescue and the invaded, this is just like very uneven, and I don't, it has a lot of mixes of different types of grasses in here, and that's what I'm struggling on with this side yard. But GrowFordge, their products are great. It brought me miles. I saw changes the next day in the color from here to the front yard. So very happy with the outcome with the GrowFordge products on the side yard here, and hopefully we get a little more rain and we can see this growing a little more into the season. All right, so next let's take a look at the front yard. So coming around here, the front yard is definitely not looking too bad. Again, with the dry spots, with the heat we've had this current week, I'm seeing a little bit of drying out here. I don't know if you can see the discoloration, and definitely through this midsection here, there's a couple dry spots, but overall, very lush. As you said, this is the area that's about minimum maintenance. So this area is very healthy, very happy with the way it looks and the texture. All right, so now that I've given you an update on what's going on my lawn, let's talk about what you guys need to be looking ahead to as we come into the season. So number one, I think it's time. The heat is gonna come, and I know how much everybody hates the heat. Their lawn has been going great throughout the season, and they're upset that now the heat's gonna come in and try to toast their lawn. So the heat is coming, everyone. And the biggest thing to combat the heat and the dryness is water, water, water. You need to be watering 1 inch to 1.5 inches of water a week, and I'll have a video coming up soon about how to water. I'm gonna do one detailed on my in-ground irrigation, reviewing Hunter Hydro-Wise. I'm also gonna do a separate one for those of you who don't have in-ground, and we're gonna split it up 2 different videos, detailed watering guide, how to water your lawn. Watering is the most important thing, and once you get that down, you can keep your lawn green and healthy for most of the summer like I do. And I have 22,000 square feet. I got a lot of lawn here to try to keep as healthy as possible. But I can keep it pretty much green for most of the summer without breaking the bank on the water bill as well, guys. So the best thing to keep in mind here, water, water, water. That's gonna help you get through the summer. That's gonna keep your lawn as healthy as possible, is keeping up on that water. And the second thing is too, keeping up on that mowing. Letting your lawn go long in the spring and chopping off tons of that blade is going to add extra stress to your lawn going into summer, which is already a stressful season that your lawn doesn't need. So if you can keep up on mowing, follow that 1/3 rule. You're only cutting off 1/3 of the grass blade at a time. That's also going to help make a big difference when you're going into summer, that your lawn won't be already stressed while going into a stressful time, because summer is a time of stress. No matter how much we water, no matter how much we fertilize, no matter how green my lawn looks in the summer, it's stressed. It's not as healthy as it is in the spring and the fall. So that's something that you have to keep in mind when you're coming out and doing lawn work in the spring or in the summer. But you can help limit the stress, limit the factors. You can only control so much, but those variables that you can control, if you control in the greatest fashion, you can keep your lawn as green and healthy as possible in the summer, and as possible. So make sure you keep that in mind. Number two, let's talk about fertilizer. Now, I don't like to encourage fertilizer in the summer, and there's a reason for this. As I said, summer is a time of stress, and I don't want to encourage any more unnecessary growth to the lawn at a time of stress. So I don't like to push with granular, heavy doses of fertilizer. Now this year, I can push with the GrowFordge products, which are great Canadian products. Check out the discount code in the link below. But we can push with micronutrients, basically our iron, our manganese, our magnesium, our sulfur, those things to get color pops and to get a little bit more top growth if we need that color and if we're lacking in the fertilizer department. Normally by about mid-July, late July, we start lacking in the fertilizer department because I'm pushing the lawn so hard with mowing, it just can't make it through. So normally we start lacking around that time. So I can push with those micronutrients with the liquids and the GrowFordge products. Just make sure that you're not applying them before any torrential rain falls. That's just gonna wash the product away. And make sure that you're applying it to actively growing grass. There's no point in applying fertilizer to brown, dead grass, especially a liquid. You're not going to see that response unless you're coming out of dormancy, which you're not going to be coming out of any time in the middle of summer. So if you're going to keep your grass alive, keep it alive. You can apply some liquid spoon feeding fertilizer in the summer. If you're doing a 100% granular program, just stay away from fertilizer for the summer, and that's going to help save your lawn. Going into May though, we are in May now. Now, next weekend is the long weekend of May, Memorial Day weekend for those of you in the US, Victoria Day weekend for those of us here in Canada. This is going to be my last chance to apply granular fertilizer before we hit the heat of the summer. So I'm going to be applying a 32 or 3008 in the backyard here. That's going to give me a heavy push of nitrogen going into the summer. I'm also going to apply that same 3008 on the front yard, as well as some micronutrient liquid fertilizers in there. And then, as I said, the side yard is going to stay with that baseline product, keeping up with the liquid fertilizer. It should hopefully help push root growth, make that side yard more healthy, more thick, and more lush, and make a big difference in the lawn this year. Mowing, again, keeping up with your mowing, making sure you're only cutting off 1/3 of the grass blade. You're not putting your lawn into any more stress going into the summer. When your lawn does go into dormancy, if it's brown and crunchy, try to stay off on it with the lawnmower. I know the lawnmower can help clean it up and you're gonna have to go, but if you have to mow, but just be light with it. Get on and off. Make sure you're not trampling your brown and crunchy lawn, and that's why you're gonna have mass dead spots after the summer. When we're talking about weeds, invading weeds in the lawn and looking at weed control, you can apply weed control at any point in time. If you're gonna control your weeds, you need to get it done earlier in the spring before you hit that heat of the summer. As soon as you hit that heat of the summer, the weed control cannot be intaken by the plant because the plant is no longer growing, and weed control is not going to do that much. So if you're going to be applying any sort of liquid weed control, you need to make sure that you're getting it done before you get into that heat of summer. That's when that weed control is going to be less active, as well as there are temperature restrictions. You can't apply weed control when it's 32 degrees outside. And you also can't apply weed control when there's going to be thunderstorms or torrential rains coming up later. So make sure you're following those labels on the bottles and staying to your weed control program, keeping that under control. That's going to help make a big difference for you guys that are looking to apply weed control this summer. Now, no matter how much we water the lawn, there can be things called localized dry spots. And basically what this is the soil underneath the grass has issues in taking the water for what reason or another reason, and they tend to dry out more quickly than others. So without further ado, check out this clip of a localized dry spot that I checked out earlier today. All right, so when we talk about your lawn drying out, let's take this section for example. This section had a lot of heat stress today. Now it is coming back, but as you can see, the grass blades are quite thin, and that's because the grass blade itself is shaped like a V. And when the heat hits it, the blade closes over. See this fold in the middle? It closes over like this. So if I take this larger blade, for example, see that fold in the middle? It's going to close over, fold in half when that sun hits it. And basically what that is, it's a defense mechanism to stop the sun from hurting your grass and stop the sun from burning your grass. So this is when you'll be able to see your grass here looks thinner, looks closed over, and looks very dry. And I can see the drying through the spot. And I don't know what it is with the soil here. I've had issues before. I think when they built the house, they might have dumped some sort of material here and here, but I've had issues with these spots thinning in the past, and it's definitely a drought issue right in through here. So hopefully we can keep that healthy enough. But as you can see from that area compared to even this area, the grass blades are folded over, very thin. I know I need to sharpen my mower blades, look at that, very thin. But then if you go somewhere up here where there's a lot less heat stress, you can see all the blades are wide open, absorbing as much sun as possible. And that's because the blades want to absorb more sun. They're ready to take that heat. But when the sun becomes too strong, the blades close over as a defense mechanism so they don't have to absorb as much heat, so they can hopefully live a little longer throughout the winter. Without further ado, I think that's pretty much it for this quick spring update on what's going on in my lawn, what I'm seeing around here, and what you guys have to be looking for coming up into the season. From the Great Green North, my name's Wade Murray. Thank you guys for watching. As always, any questions, leave them down below. I'll make sure to answer them as quickly as I can. From the Great Green North, my name's Wade Murray. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, keep it green.